Hello, welcome back. So this video I'm just going to concentrate solely on Matic, and we're just going to look at Matic as best we can and see what's likely to happen in the short and not so distant future. So just to start, I'm not a financial advisor, it's not financial advice. If you want to make your own investments, go ahead, but don't base them on anything that I've said. Do your own research and try and do your own technical analysis as well. And speaking of technical analysis, let's have a look at Matic. So Matic is a very difficult one to do technical analysis on, for the main reason that it's only very small charts. It's only come out just since April, so because of that, we've not got a great deal to go by. I mean, there is a previous history. I'm using one on Binance solely, but there wasn't much going on with Matic when it first came out, so it's not really worth looking at that as much as it is this when real trading came into power. So what happened, obviously we had this big parabolic top, we all know that, and we all know that we've been consolidating ever since, and we came all the way back down to here. Similarly, if we have a look at this chart here, and then we'll go back in time and have a little zoom out. Oop, sorry, I zoom in. Oh, bear with me, I've got a terrible mouse button here. Not working very well, so we go all the way back here and we'll have a look at what's been going on. So we had a parabolic top when it came onto the exchange. Okay, we had a consolidation period ever since, we had a rebound, we had little zigzags and consolidated all the way back down to here. Okay, so let's just measure this move out. So if we just get our ruler out and see where that came down from there to there, that is 71% thereabouts. 71%. Okay, 71%, 72% retracement from its parabolic high when it came onto the exchange. Let's have a look here and see what this tells us when we do this measure move out to where we've come back down from and where we're going to now. Oh, I should really get a new mouse button. Right. Okay, here we are. So if we have a measure move from top here to bottom here, 70, we'll call it 79% retracement. Okay, so not that that's a pattern, but what we also see is we had a parabolic top here, we had a climb back up and then zigzag all the way back down to here, which, if we remember what we saw a minute ago, is very similar to what happened here. Okay, a longer time frame obviously, but it certainly did happen. What we also can see when we go back in time is, just bear with me, what we also see is the 50 EMA was trending above, and really the price action is so small back here, but the 50 EMA was trending above before it got overtaken and went below, and then stayed below, and when it stays below, it created a nice upward trend, creating its new parabolic top. Anytime we get above that green 50, it does set an uptrend, but also what we need to do is stay, and like I say, this is a very new coin, so some of these indicators didn't even exist back then, but what we also need to do is stay above this 200 EMA. 200 EMA is a very important one, because it signifies a long-term trend. So when we got below it, and we got below it just here, and interestingly enough we got below it when you see this, the green go underneath the white, which is the 50 EMA, and they're going beneath the 200 EMA. That's what's called a death cross, and so we had a death cross, like most alts saw a death cross, and we've had this retracement ever since. Altcoin dominance is a big part to play in that, but also historically death crosses signify a change in trend to the bearish side. So what's going on now then? So this was all, I mean, this is a great move, okay, and there's no taking away from the fact that this is an amazing move from Matic. It was caused off the back of the Coinbase announcement that they're being considered for listing, not 100% in the bag, but I mean they are being considered. There's no real reason to say and think why they won't be listed, but that's where it's come from. But in the wake of all of this, it looks as though this green is going to overtake the white, and when that happens, that's known as a golden cross. Now, we are only on the 4 hour. I mean, golden crosses on larger time frames like dailies and weeklies, they're very important, but you can't underestimate the power of a golden cross on a 4 hourly. They do take place quite often on smaller time frames, and they do all sort of make a small amount of sense. But this would be the first time that Matic ever has an official golden cross. So what that would generally suggest is that we're going to have a change in trend again, similar to what happened here when we had a change in trend. We came all the way back down from here to here. The golden cross took place here. We moved down by 51%, almost 52% is where we came down from after that death cross. So we could move up another 50%. The likelihood is we'll probably move up a bit more than that over time, because this coin, if it does get listed on Coinbase, will rocket. We're probably likely to have some more pullbacks at this stage on this coin here right now. But what I'm sort of leaning towards is there's a few things that we can look at with Matic. One thing is that there's a 2 cent, which historically that 2 cent mark was, which is just here, a really good support level for when we were above it. We tested that, bounced on that lots and lots of times before we broke. That would also suggest that it's now going to be a resistance for us, and that resistance will need to be pushed and pushed and pushed to break. And when we do break that, hopefully then that will turn to support, and it should be a strong support if we have a golden cross. We're trending beneath it now. We've tested it twice, been rejected twice, and now we look as though we're probably going to have a bit of consolidation before we try and push back up there. What we are finding is we've got a significant support level here at roughly around 1.7 cent. Okay, 1.7 cent is our current support level. It's relatively weak, because it's simply just a support that we've rested on, and it was a previous resistance on these 2 candles over here. If you can see my little cursor there, that's where we're talking. So it is a support, and it was a resistance, and you can see how previously this resistance is now turned to support. That's generally how it works. We're also moving on 21-day close, which is just here, and we've got all these moving averages converging around this area here. So if we do come down, if we do break here, our support level is going to be here at 1.4 cent. That should be an extremely strong support level. We might bounce before then, but if we get to there, that should be a very strong support level. Now, if that does break, then we probably will come back down to where we started, which would be a damn shame. But that's how this is going to play out, and that's how it's going to work. So if we break above 2 cent, and it's a strong break, and we get this golden cross, we should stay above it. Our next resistance is going to be up here around, I'd say there'll probably be one around 2.4 cent. There'll certainly be one around 2.7 cent. A very strong one there, because historically this is it's kind of descending in a way, but this is kind of where our supports are. So we could call it this resistance level. Sorry, we could call it anywhere between 2.6 to 2.8 cents. And that would be a very strong one to break. And if we break above there, and we've got this golden cross, and if the market's in our favour and it gets on Coinbase, then our all-time highs are probably not that hard to imagine achieving. But that is, that's not anytime soon. We're talking months away now. We're talking months, and we're also hoping that this golden cross isn't just a little tiny one, that it's actually a decent strong one, because they can cross and they can cross back down, and it's very early days. We could have a very small one. If we consolidate from here, we get a small one. It could create a little boom, but it could quite come back down, creating another death cross. So we need this golden cross to be pretty strong as well. So we'll have a look here on the Satoshi values. Not that this doesn't mean anything, but I've said on my previous videos that when we had our parabolic top here and our all-time highs on the Satoshi levels, Bitcoin was half the value that it is now. So it was easier to achieve than that. So really now, for every 1 Satoshis, it's like 2 from back here. So for us to get up here, that would take twice the power, and twice the buying strength than this move caused us. Okay, So that, just bear that in mind. It takes twice the power to get back up here on the Satoshi value. So that would probably, you know, roughly speaking, depending on where Bitcoin is, if Bitcoin stays as it is, and we get back up there, then we're going to be looking at a price of a Matic of roughly speaking of around about 8 to 9 cents, which, you know, it's probably going to happen at some point, but I can't see that happening anytime soon. Now, if Bitcoin makes moves up, which I think it is, I think Bitcoin's going to make some big moves up. Not very soon, but in the next couple of weeks, it's probably going to go back up to 13 and beyond. That's within a couple of weeks. Then our Satoshis will fall unless Matic continues to make bigger highs. So what we're looking at here, I drew these little things in. Okay, so it's just a rough guess, but this would be the time frame, roughly speaking, for us to achieve a golden cross on Bitcoin pairing, and roughly speaking, if the trajectory stays the same and our prices stay roughly about the same, or if Matic continues to rise in price, this golden cross will take place. It will have taken place at some point tomorrow, if not Friday, and then we'll have to see how this one plays out on the Bitcoin pairing. Now, I would prefer to see a healthier chart when we're looking at a pairing with Bitcoin than I would on the Tether. Tether comes sort of naturally in the wake of a healthy looking Bitcoin pairing chart. So really what I'd like to see is, I would want to see the golden cross take place here, and I want to see this be a nice big steep golden cross. If we can start to increase our Satoshi levels at the rate that we've been increasing our US dollar or our Tether value, that's really going to make a big difference for the long-term trend of Matic. And if it gets on Coinbase as a result of this consideration that's going through, there's no reason to suggest that this can't continue with this kind of move throughout, well, we'll say for the rest of this year, to be honest with you. This coin has got an enormous potential. This is one of the reasons I stare at it daily. I like to trade lots of coins, but this is one of the coins that I hodl. So, and I've hodled since back before the top, and actually I've now just been accumulating more of it, because I'm pretty sure that this one is going to come out on top in the next few years. So buying it around this level is, well, it's kind of like free money. And if you've watched my channel before, you might have recalled me telling a brief story about what I did with Ripple, and just to sort of put it into context, I bought Ripple when it was just around 2.5 cents, and look what happened to Ripple. It took ages when I bought that as well. So I bought Ripple 2.5 cents. It was going up, it was going down, it was all over the place. At some point, my Ripple, my investment was worth half the amount, less than half the amount that I paid for it. But they didn't have the facilities that they do now, you know, like Binance and other trading platforms. So it wasn't easy for me to just sell it and buy it back and sell it and buy it back. So it was a hodl. And then in the end, it paid off big time. Absolutely paid off big time. It didn't make me a millionaire, but it made me very, very, very happy. If you can imagine buying Ripple for that price, you know, I 100x'd my money. So, and that's kind of what I intend to do with Matic. So I'll always look at Matic on a daily basis. I don't really trade it. I just accumulate it because I feel that strongly about it. Anyway, I will leave it with you there, and stay tuned for more. We're going to do these videos daily, or try to do them daily. And yeah, thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. Have a nice evening. Take care.